So thank you for doing this, Colin. I appreciate this. It feels a bit weird having to do kind of this little start. And I've got to remember in this one, because this is only my second one, I have to remember to not use the word interesting so much.
You say interesting a lot. I say interesting a lot.
I did. It was weird.
It's a good filler word.
It is, but when you're using it all the time, that's why I put on my first recording. It's like it's interesting. Why? Yes, it's very interesting. Because I seem to use interesting a heck of a lot. But anyway, thank you very much for doing this. You are my you've been my third recording. But only my second that I put up. So again, as I said in the previous one, it's just a conversation. As you know, we've got nothing really planned, and we'll just see how it goes.
Nothing planned, don't we?
Yeah, I know. So the first thing we should talk about is how you found your gap year in the UK, because obviously you're American, because people are going to find out from your accent. So how do you find coming over to Blighty? And what's the differences that you've noticed the most from being an American on British shores?
Oh, well, it was really nerve-wracking, like coming over here, because I've never lived in a place for over like 6 months. That's how long I've been here, or 5.5 months, but the longest I've ever been was like, while at school back home, just maybe like a few months, and then going back home every once in a while, but here I've been staying. And so really nerve-wracking. I didn't know what to expect. I've only seen pictures of Leeds and stuff. But when I got here, I was really excited because it was like this bustling city, and like, there's a lot of things to do. Got situated and everything. And first few weeks were okay. I got all my classes situated. I kind of had a routine, but I did find that I wasn't making an effort to make friends.
Okay.
Like, I felt I was so used to just having friends back home. Like, I didn't really think about it, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a good time to, sit back, be on my own, but I felt really lonely. I was sitting in my room watching Netflix, and I was like, wait, that's not cool.
This is without doubt a recurring theme, and I think from all of us, and not just the people that I talk to and listen to, but even if we all analyse ourselves, it's almost like we expect everyone else to make the first move. But the trouble is if every single person is waiting for someone else to make the first move, then no one makes the first move.
And you're playing games and it's just...
exactly, and it drives me up the wall. Why play a game? If you want to talk to someone, then just talk to them. But it's easy to say that. For me, what broke the ice for us was the fact that I heard your accent.
Right.
And to me, accents are a really good icebreaker. So the first sentence, when we were sat in the lectures, it was your accent that gave me the icebreaking opportunity.
I wonder what I said.
I can't remember. What I do remember is I wasn't very flattering to you, because I think we said it when we went out for a meal and we were sat with you, Julia, and myself.
Yeah.
I think the first thing that I said to you, I was like, oh, where's the accent from? And you went, oh, it's American. And I went, oh, I hate American.
Oh yeah, that's right. No, but like I got that humor, like.
So I can't stand American, and that was like it was not the most flattering first introduction, but I think
I think it was, because I like that kind of humor.
Okay, all right, it's good, yeah.
Because you don't take it seriously.
Yeah. But it was just but it was that. So for me, like I said, the accent was a really good icebreaker.
Yeah.
And that's what got us talking. And then from that, I don't know if I should use a name, but the Brazilian lady.
Yes.
I won't use her name. She'll know who it is if she listens to this.
I think you already said her name.
Yeah. Maybe so. But then again, it was the accent. I mean, you got to know her before I did, didn't you?
Yeah. She was in my seminar.
Yeah. But then she obviously heard us two talking.
Yeah.
And then over time she started to kind of interplay a little bit. And again, it was an accent, so it was an American accent, it was a Brazilian accent, and it was a doing like Yorkshire accent. But that was a great icebreaker.
Yeah.
So how did you overcome then this thing of you sitting in your room on your own?
Well, I've started actively going into the events that were prescribed for the international students first.
Okay, I don't know
like,
what were these events then?
Like at the beginning of the year, like maybe a week in, they set up like there's like a week long of events where like one was like a treasure hunt, or like a scavenger hunt through the city.
Okay.
So you go to a room, meet up, and you're assigned into groups. And like, so I met some people there, and we all just had a good time just exploring the city and like, just making friends. Like we didn't really care about like finding the places. It was more like having a good time talking and stuff. And, like, adding each other on Facebook. And the first few times, and like we started meeting up like at the pub or something. And that's when I first kind of broke into it. I started feeling not alone anymore. So it was good that you have to like put yourself out there and not be afraid.
It's a big thing.
Kind of going back to your vulnerability thing, But
it's true.
Just as a word that's relevant, but yeah. And then from there, that's where meeting you, and then Julia. There's all these little connections that. You have to make these little connections in your class, or else you're going to feel alone.
Absolutely.
The class is a whole lot less than it would be otherwise.
And it's the little connections that eventually lead to better connections. Like I say, even though we've only known each other for a few months, and you're actually going back to the UK, but we've met up a few times. This isn't the first time we've met up. So when we had when I had the issues with terrorism, and you soothed the ego by going for a coffee with me because it affected me emotionally, when we were covering that subject, remember? Because I didn't realise how impactful that was going to be, because it was just after that attack on the bridge in London with the car, and then watching the framing of that on the news, and studying, we just happened to be studying that at the time in the lectures, how it impacted me in an emotional sense, because of that framing of which is really isolating and creating divisions in us all. It was like, as soon as it's someone that isn't a white person, they're framed in a different light by creating a difference. So obviously it's like so these guys tend to be of Muslim faith or origin, and as soon as someone is Muslim that creates an act, they are a terrorist. But if it's a white person, they're like a mental case or a lone wolf. And I, as you know, when we sat and chatted, the impact that had on me, because I get really annoyed with that framing, because I've talked to enough people from around the world of different faiths, backgrounds, colours, genders, sexual orientation. And the striking thing is how similar we all are. We all have the same fears, we all have the same wishes and wants.
Existential dread. I get that. I mean, we can establish that it was like terrorists, but it's bad that it's bad that we automatically associate a certain person as a terrorist. And definitely that shouldn't happen, especially on a large scale, because that is divisive.
It is,
and there has to be some line drawn, between how do you deal with it, because in some cases you do have to separate people from other people, but in other cases it's a bad thing because it's discriminatory. Yes. And so there's some line there has to be.
I think the difficulty is when it's framed as someone that is physically different or faithfully different, or that's for me that's the danger. Like, I understand that the isolation of someone if they are mentally disturbed or they've got some serious issues with the world, whatever that may be.
Sure.
But framing it in a way that it tends to be certainly the physical way you look, that is disturbing.
Oh yeah, that's
because the trouble with
racism,
that exactly because the trouble with that is every single person who walks down the street sees people who look different, and if it's framed that someone looking different is potentially a terrorist, how screwed up is the world going to be? You're going to be terrified to leave your house because you're going to pass someone who looks different. It's just
It is unfortunate.
That scares me more than
yeah.
anything else. Do you know what I mean?
And while like it's a bad thing, it's like, it's not completely irrational, you know, because these terrorist incidents are so huge on scale, international ones. But in the same light, it's not good to fear like every person of Muslim faith, So that's why I'm saying there's a line.
Yeah, there certainly has to be that, and I don't think we were anywhere near finding it. And as well, you could argue. I mean, you've got to be careful because a lot of people do get offended, and anyone that listens to this is can potentially be offended. But it's never ever meant in an offensive way. It's just the fact that it's trying to be intellectual and see the bigger picture and try to understand why these things happen.
And I think we should talk about it and have these ideas. Express these viewpoints, because trying to self-censor what you're saying it's just making it worse, because you're suppressing information that could be helpful, could be not helpful,
Absolutely. No, I agree.
But could be offensive.
Yes,
I feel like we shouldn't worry about that as much.
Maybe it's offensive to people who
I don't think we've said anything.
Who are perhaps, shall we say, in a polite way, ignorant. Well, you can't say polite way of saying ignorant, but do you know what I mean? If you're not prepared to learn the facts and actually understand the causes and the consequences of all these things that happen, then in essence you shouldn't worry about those people being offended.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's anyone who's trying their best to understand what's going on probably won't be offended by people talking about it in a
I get that.
So it tends to be the ones that do get offended are not willing to see what's really going on. They just have that biased perspective.
Right.
And so you're like, well, if I offend you, then that's your fault, not mine.
It becomes personal.
Yes.
And
but
that's what we're talking about.
We'll talk for as long as we can. Okay. But getting back to what we went off topic there, which is good. We were talking about connections actually right at the start, but no, this is what I love. The fact that this is the beauty of genuine conversations, right? And non-scripted. And this is why I wanted to do this, because scripted you follow a pattern, and you can see that, whereas a genuine conversation is organic and it develops and it goes off topic. And this is why I love genuine conversation. So, because what I was originally talking about, how we were meeting and how the first time we got together outside of the classroom was that. And then we were saying how those little connections add. And then next time we went out for a meal, didn't we?
Yeah.
Went out for that early evening meal and we sat for, I think it was about 3 hours, and we chatted and we got a right good debate, didn't we, between neoliberalism and the social side, and you held your ground, and it was just fantastic. But
that was great.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. So changing the topic a little bit, and I'm trying to tie in some of the things we'll talk about. I'm going to try into some of the topics I talked about in my last podcast.
Okay.
And one of them was when I was talking to. She said I could use a name and I didn't, so Ebba. When I was talking to Ebba, and I was talking about how when I was your age, then that physical, the way you look, someone like Ebba would have intimidated me so much that I would never have approached her. And what I found interesting, I've used that word again, interesting, but who cares? Yeah. But when we were talking, you were saying the same things about yourself that I said about myself, that you can be very open and hold your ground in the debate we had between like the American and British ways of viewing the world.
Sure.
And you held your ground against me, which is a really magnificent thing, and I found that amazing. And yet then you were telling me that you couldn't talk to women unless you'd had a few drinks, and I found that really, really strange, that you're an intellectual, charming guy, but then you suffer from the same I don't know if it's insecurities, but fears as what I did when I was your age.
Yeah. Well, I guess when I was saying that, it's easier to talk to women. I do feel like, like without a few drinks, like I can't just go up to any woman and start a conversation. I have to have like maybe a friend like know them and bring me in. Or, like I cannot. I It is something about being nervous about who you are.
Okay.
Like, oh, I'm boring. I'm nothing interesting. But yeah. What was I saying?
No, but the thing is, it's funny because you're not boring. I think what we are. I mean, I'm realistic enough to know, even though I'm hanging around with you guys on a daily basis, that vast areas of my daily life and weekly life are going to be boring to you guys, but there's going to be elements that are interesting, and and so you saying that you worry that you're going to be boring. Well, yeah, to some people you may be, but then are you really bothered that you're not going to get a connection with them? If they find you boring, then why should you be forcing yourself to try to make that connection?
No, you're right.
Most of the people who would find intellectual conversations boring are the ones who are just going to be, for want of a better word, deadheads for the rest of their lives. They're just going, they're just going to go away and, I'm pretty, and I've this, that, and the other, and that's going to be their life. But it's going to be really unfulfilled. So I can't. Knowing that I was like that when I was younger, and I'd have to get drunk, and then sitting here talking to you on several occasions, I can't understand why you think that. Because I find you a very, very charming guy, and if I was a woman, I would.
Yeah,
for want of a better
I was
word.
like exaggerating a little bit, but like it does. I was just saying it helps, because I do have anxieties about it, and beer just, you release your inhibitions. With
it certainly does.
A little bit of
Dutch courage.
A little bit of the juice.
Yes, it does. It makes you do and say things that you perhaps
wouldn't.
I've
had success, without alcohol. But these are all. I don't know how did I lose my train of thought?
No. What is it?
I've had success without these.
There's a Freudian slip there.
I feel like. That's true. Oh boy.
You're fine.
Scratch that. Edit that out.
Okay.
And what was I saying?
You've had some success.
Without drinks. But I do find it that it could be like a slippery slope. If I make the connection between alcohol and being my best self. I need to learn how to do that on my own. Without a crutch.
Well,
and that could lead to bad habits. So
yes. Well, I'm.
At least I can identify.
I'm not the one that is brilliant at giving that advice, because it took me a long time to get rid of the alcohol. I mean, I didn't stop. I mean, I was never ever a big drinker. I wouldn't drink during the week. I'd just drink when I went out.
Right.
But then I would get drunk. So it took me a long time. I didn't give up alcohol completely until probably my 30s. So, and now I just don't touch it at all. So I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. So, but it is fascinating that you are like that. Who knows? I don't know who.
Specimen of grand inquisition. I don't know what to say.
Again, but I suppose it's that thing. You see it all the time. The kind of if you have a life that has predominantly more failures in something than successes, and this can lead us on to definitions of success, is if those failures are more than the successes, then that does have an impact in your confidence. So if you approach women and you fail at getting out on a date more times than you succeed, then that surely is going to slowly erode your confidence. So if you ask 10 ladies out for a date and only one says yes, then 9 failures is going to be far more powerful than 1 success over a longer period.
That's true, and I feel like we perceive negative things a lot more strongly than we do positive things. At least in my experience, it's when was your last happy memory? It's like, you have to think about it, but then it's like, when was the last time you felt terrible? Oh, well, yesterday I sit in my bed. But I feel like it's something we have to learn to you have to embrace those moments. more
Yeah.
and acknowledge them. Because a lot of times we take them for granted. We're like,
Yes.
we take the good times as that's just what's supposed to happen.
Yes. We become blasé. Absolutely, we become blasé with it. We do. We really. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
Good things
right.
are supposed to happen. That's what's always supposed to happen. And then bad things, those are completely deviant things from life.
Yes.
Terrible. And I feel like you kind of have to like switch your thought process. You have to acknowledge it.
Yeah, but that's a really, really difficult thing, and I think that takes a lot of self-awareness, of being aware of that, and that is how it works. Because that's a really profound thing you say. Because again, if I go back to thinking about when I was doing that period with my mother when she was dying, and I spent the time getting her to look back on her life. And it was getting her to remember the good bits, the funny moments, the things that happened. And as we went through that 7-month period, there was a lot of really good moments that had happened in her life that she'd just forgotten about and taken for granted. And the bad times had really overridden everything. So it was only in those 7 months that she was telling me funny stories of her youth when she was your age, and getting a flat and some of the things, and like when she met, funny stories, when she met my father, they lived in this flat and it was so poor, they were so poor that when they were trying to watch TV, my father kind of had to sit out on like this window and hold an aerial outside to get a picture. So he couldn't watch TV, but she could, and it was just like little stories like that. But she was sat and she was telling me these stories, she was laughing her head off at it. But she'd forgotten about that. Over the years of the kind of the negative things happening in her life, she'd forgotten all about that. So yeah, so it's I suppose that's maybe one of the reasons why I wanted to start this, is to kind of talk to people and find some good stories and things like that. So yeah. Very, very good. So how are you coping with this? You alright? You're settling into it? Yeah.
This is poking into that vulnerability.
I know, it's a hard thing to do, isn't it? It's a hard thing to do.
Especially on recording, but
it's a hard thing to do.
I'll be honest, like, this is probably one of the hardest, times in my life I've been through. Just moving here.
Okay.
For 5.5 months.
Okay.
I've been the lowest of my lows, as some would say.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not there now. It's, at the end, and things kind of smoothed out. But during the semester, like, first of all, like, moving away from home, like, I thought it was okay because I've moved away for a long time. But this is entirely different. Entirely new country. Dropped all my friends. I don't have that. Because I was in a double with one of my best friends.
A double? What do you mean?
Like a double room.
Okay.
So like, I was in my bed here, and like, his bed was at the foot of mine.
Yeah.
And but now I'm in a single, and I'm in a house full of people that have already been here and have already forged friendships.
Yes. And has that been difficult to break into those groups?
It was, because they've already had their group, but luckily I connected with one of the guys in my house, and he's been a really good friend. Since I've been here, he's actually been really like a good thing that's happened to me. Here, but I will say it was pretty tough semester between all those things. Plus, because I'm coming from a biology degree, now I'm taking 2 philosophy courses, a sociology course, and this astronomy course that's kind of similar, but it's like it's very off a normal reservation that I'm usually working away on. So all these things, all these factors kind of degraded my confidence in my skills, or my study skills. Like, I didn't know how to write a philosophy paper.
Isolation.
Isolation, that's what I dealt with this semester. Even though I made some connections, which were good. But
I suppose, it's difficult, and it certainly is. It's like, even just moving to different... And it's one of the biggest things that I hear from students is that feeling of being alone. Because like I say, for you guys, if you get into a house of 5 or 6 other people and you don't connect with any of them, I've heard stories of students who go into a house similar to you, and the groups that's there is they're a party group. They like going out, getting drunk, falling over, doing stupid things, making fools of themselves. But there might be a person that moves into that house that isn't that. And what I've heard is that actually that group then, without even being aware of it, isolates that person even further by not even making the effort to connect with them. Right. They just see that person as someone who doesn't drink, so we're not even going to try to integrate them.
Yeah.
And I've heard so many stories of things like that, and that must be quite. But then again, you don't need many. You only need one or two to make you feel okay.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'd like to meet as many people as I could and record as many conversations as I could. But if given the choice between not meeting anyone to record and meeting one or two good ones, I'd prefer to pick one or two good ones.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
I go by the same thing. Like, I don't need a lot of friends. Only forge like a few really good friendships in my life.
Well, there's that old adage that you can have hundreds and hundreds of acquaintances, but you'll only really have maybe a handful of people who you can kind of bare your soul to. Maybe that's just social structure. Maybe it shouldn't be like that. Maybe we should be able to live in a world where we can. But
I do think it's a largely personal preference. Like, some people can bare their soul to anyone. If they have a lot of friends.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said to you, I've just found it to be powerful. From purely a personal perspective, I found it to be very, very powerful to be vulnerable and not really care. And one of the fascinating consequences of being that, and I've started to hear this over the last few weeks from people, a few people when I go salsa dancing have said this to me, that I've become quite intimidating. They're quite scared.
Okay.
And I'm like, why? And they're like, I don't know, you're quite scary. And I'm like, no, don't be scared, I'm a big soft pussycat. But there must be something now about being vulnerable, because these people, I think they read the blog post and they read the blog and they listen. And so it's true, it's just by being vulnerable you become powerful, and you must project that power onto other people that then actually makes them feel a little bit vulnerable themselves. And they shouldn't be like that, because I'm not there to be powerful and dominate someone. I'm there to try to encourage you to be vulnerable yourself, because it's a great thing. It's a very liberating thing.
And it's like not inherently, instinctively, people don't like that. They don't like to be exposed.
No.
That's why maybe they're scared of it, because you're kind of breaking this. You're breaking it like a framework. Right?
Yes. A construction of how relationships should go.
Yeah, or like, a script, as you say. He's asking about me, and like,
yes,
he's piercing my soul.
He's trying to get me to say things. Yeah, he's trying to get me to say things I don't want to say.
It's like, and I get the fear. It's like, doesn't happen all the time. You're in a way that's kind of unique, and it's like no one knows how to deal with that. And no one likes the unknown.
Yeah,
it makes sense. It makes sense, and people should be more open, but it's understandable in a way, because you don't see that all the time. I think you should see it more often.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could just take
in certain, levels.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just look at, like I say, going back to the scripted conversations, or if you look at like the election here in the UK, our politicians are very different to the American politicians, which is going to be a nice segue in getting on to talking about Trump, which we'll do in a second. If you look at our politicians, they don't answer questions. Trump will just lie.
What do they do?
But Trump just lies, right? Trump will just say anything and not.
Or he just doesn't know what he's talking about.
It's just a little bit. But our politicians are very, very fearful of being vulnerable, of showing weakness. So they answer a question by not answering a question.
Oh, that's politicians, though.
But that's,
I know what you mean.
That's the most obvious symptom of the problem of not being genuine. That's because you're chastised by the world for being vulnerable, for being a human being, for failing at something, for making a mess, for saying something, a Freudian slip. hammered.
Covfefe, you know, Trump's tweet.
I don't know what's that mean. What is that? I vaguely saw it because I didn't follow it,
but go on.
But
whatever.
But now we'll get into talking about. Let's talk a little bit about Trump and the implications of our perspective, our individual perspectives of Trump and his.
I feel like we align on most things with Trump, but maybe some things are different.
No, but this is where when we were walking down here ready to do this, you said to me that in a strange way you thought him pulling out of the Paris Agreement was going to be a good thing.
Or it is a good thing.
Or it is a good thing. So now is a perfect chance to get an American's perspective on why you believe it could be a good thing. When most of the rhetoric on media, social media, internet, the world is it's a really, really bad thing. So go for it, Colin.
It's like putting me on the spot because
exactly, that's what
I'm still gathering my thoughts on it. And I only have like things that I've heard and
we don't have to be expert. We're not experts. We're two everyday people just chatting.
It is.
We're not scripted because it's not human beings.
It's not a popular.
Go for it. Who gives a shit?
All right. Well, okay. Well, this is the thing. I feel like when people talk about, first of all, when people talk about climate change, it's instantly polarizing, right? Climate change deniers and climate change, whatever, accepting climate change, and it's like. That's not that's not the debate, I feel like the debate's gone past that. I feel like most everyone can agree that climate change is real.
Yeah.
By the way, it's become very political, so it's going to be polarizing.
Yes.
And it's not just the science anymore. I think people have to realize that it's going to affect policies, it's going to affect world economies, to be honest.
Yes.
And in the future, in good ways or bad. So what was I saying? I feel like the debate should be whether climate change is a catastrophe, or is going to be a global catastrophe, or if climate change is manageable and the warming is manageable and it's within our like we can adapt to climate change at a reasonable level. And we are adaptable species. We built cities and we live in cities. We're very protected from the climate. So I feel like this Paris deal is really pushing a climate catastrophist narrative.
Okay.
Where it's, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a catastrophe. But I feel like there's a lot of science that backs up that it's not going to be a catastrophe.
Yeah.
It's really speculative at this point. The science isn't there yet.
But that's what science is. But I think to be blasé and say that change isn't coming, I think is dangerous.
Oh no, no.
Change is coming.
Of course, and we have to accept.
And I think it is going to impact because, like you say, if the polar caps do melt and sea levels rise, then we, as human beings, most of our global cities, our powerhouses of economic cities, are very close to coastlines.
Sure.
So that is going to have an impact on those. Like your London is going to be a very different place. It's going to be more like Venice. In the long term, generations perhaps.
Okay.
Come on, go for it, Cole. I'm trying to get you to speak.
Yeah. Maybe a couple hundred years,
okay.
But I don't think the Paris Climate Accord had everyone's best interest. I feel like, especially for the US of A's interest, because we actually are leading in renewable energy. 5% of our energy, I think, that's what I saw, is renewable, which is far more than any other country. But I feel like, what am I trying to say? Also, let me point out, I feel like fossil fuels are getting demonized. And so this is where it gets tricky, because it's like, we generate like 80% of our global energy is fossil fuels. And it's the most cheap, the most reliable, most affordable. And since the science isn't settled and really leans to a manageable warming, right? that we can deal with. I feel like we should not hamper the affordability, the reliability of fossil fuels. I feel like we need the fossil fuels to grow our economy while at the same time investing in green technology. I feel like also green technology is vastly unreliable at this stage, at this point in time. So I feel like this, it's going to lead to a carbon tax. This Paris Agreement would lead to like carbon taxes, and it's like punishing fossil fuels for something that isn't catastrophic in my opinion.
No, you're out of your opinion.
And so hampering this cheap, it's going to push energy prices up. So poor people can't afford cheap, reliable energy. We're going to start. See, now I can see the face changing, but
no, go. I'm listening to you. I'm not here.
We're gonna start, building wind and solar, which is extremely unreliable, and we can't even store the energy yet. We can store oil in barrels, but we can't store the energy. We have to consistently use it. We don't have a way to put it on a national grid yet. So I feel like we need to research into the technology further before we hamper fossil fuel, curtail the industry.
I actually agree with some of the things that you're saying, and I really, really do. And what worries me is, like I said, we have become so dependent on the fossil fuels,
right?
That it's made us, over the generations, become very, very, to use blasé again, we've become very blasé.
What is blasé? I actually don't know
just
blasé.
Kind of flippant, kind of whatever, kind of
Okay.
It is what it is. Okay, fine. There's a train coming. It's going to hit you. Oh, it'll miss me. Don't worry. That's I haven't got thesaurus or a dictionary to kind of say.
No, I got it.
So because fossil fuels have become what they've become, and they're so high in energy, we have become very blasé in researching new forms of technology. And I think that, if fossil fuels weren't as good and as efficient at producing energy as they were, we perhaps would have naturally constantly invested in new ways to build energy, to make energy. The fact that it's been so good and so effective at powering the world, we've gone, we'll just stick with this and not bother. And now what we're at the beginning of seeing, actually, it's hampered our progress. Because if you look at it, for me, progress in the fact of advancement, hydrogen, for instance, right, the most abundant source in the element, in the universe.
Sure.
We already know how to create hydrogen fuel cells. A hydrogen fuel cell in a car, as an example, is as efficient as a petrol car. You can do just as many miles, you top it up just like a petrol, but we're not going down that route, and instead we're going on batteries. You look at Tesla, right? We're going on the battery route because it's sticking with the infrastructure we have. But then what you're saying is that the battery is not efficient enough because we can't store the energy. So batteries are not the future. So why we're progressing down that route makes no sense. But if we know that hydrogen is abundant and it will never run out, why are we not taking that? Why are we not investing in that as a way forward?
I feel like the reason why we haven't seen that is it's efficient, right? Extremely expensive to fill up a tank of hydrogen. Even though it's the most common element, I feel like synthesizing it into a fuel source is extremely expensive. I feel like if it was cheap, if it was reliable, and I don't know if there is a safe way to store hydrogen. What is it called? The Hindenburg kind of.
Yeah, but do we not have the technologies to make tanks that can do that?
Sure.
Surely, sorry to cut you off. Surely, if we take that route, then the investment and the research and development of going down that route will bring the cost down. Because we become more efficient at producing it, or however we make it, or extract it, or whatever we do with it. But by not investing in that path, it's always going to be expensive.
Sure. No, that makes sense.
And
Because you
if
don't.
you look at history, just take history of of technological advancement. We in the past have created things and spent money creating things that have lasted very, very short periods of time, and then we've done it again. So that argument of expense, I don't buy. In the UK, we built the canal system. We're sat here in a pub and we've got a canal behind us, right? We built this canal system for our economy. And in this bigger scheme of things, it lasted very, very, very short, because we suddenly, soon after building the canals, we built steam. We found out to use steam. So steam powering the trains overtook that. Yet we spent the equivalent of billions and billions and billions building this canal system that didn't last 100 years. So that argument that it's too expensive, I don't buy. Because we've done it before in the past, and we're richer now than we ever have been. Okay. So that argument of expense to me is a false.
I will say it's expensive relative to oil, gas, and coal power. And I feel like as long as it's expensive relative to these things, it needs to cut into the market to where people will be like, okay, yeah, I'll buy it. This is way better. What was else? What were you saying? Battery? You said batteries are the future, and I agree with you. Like we're saying, there's no way to store it. Plus, like you charge the battery, right? Where does that electricity come from? Comes from the coal plants, the fossil fuel. So it's just another way of distributing. It's like now it's just coal plants, and we have. Anyways, what you're saying with hydrogen, I could also recommend nuclear power, which is there's no CO2 emissions at all. I feel like everyone's stuck up on nuclear waste and how to manage that, but I feel like I can't tell you the specifics on how to manage nuclear waste, but I feel like it's almost a pejorative. I don't know. It's like nuclear waste. And
I've read a few articles, and this is not my field of expertise, but I've read a few articles that actually, again, we have some technology available that we can actually make these wasted fuel rods lifespans a lot less. They can bombard them with some kind of particles. I can't remember what they're called.
Sure.
And it destroys these half-lives, these tens of thousands of years. I've also read an article on something called thorium. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah. Thorium reactors. Yeah.
So you know about those?
Yeah, not really, but I know the word.
But sure. Again, I don't know.
It's nuclear.
I've heard that, and I've read that they are far less dangerous than your typical plutonium or uranium and things. The actual radioactive material is a lot less than uranium's. So I agree with you. I think the fact that we're not doing it and the excuses are not relevant. And I don't buy it. And I think the problem is we're living in a world of greed. We're living in a period of greed, to me, over sensibility and sustainability, perhaps. Because that thing about energy, I don't think it's one. I watched a TV program with Brian. Do you know Prof Cox? Brian Cox.
I know Brian Cox.
You know Brian, not personally.
Not personally.
But he did a program and he spoke to some boffin who worked out the world's energy consumption and the needs. And they came up with this little formula of what we have to do to get off fossil fuels. And what it is there's no one solution that's going to get us off. It's lots of little different. So it's your winds, your batteries, but it's like nuclear, it's like hydrogen. It's a combination of many that will get us off what we in essence call the black gold. And we're never going to not use black gold. Oh, you know, I mean, you just, why not, have the road system hydrogen and allow planes to still use fuel or oil? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Or kerosene.
So like selective. treatment of oil.
Why not do that? But what is the biggest impact? I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out
I
there.
get that. No, that makes sense. I mean, that could be a at least a step. I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't even matter because if the fuel is that cheap and cost effective for everyone else in the cars, I feel like planes would use the same thing. They'd be like, oh, we're right on that. We'll do that too. So I feel like oil would be obsolete, but we don't have an alternative yet. That could
not as efficient.
So I guess my main point is I am a free market kind of guy.
Oh yeah, well I know from the conversation we had.
And I feel like that needs to be an important factor until when we change. And I understand. So where you're coming from, it's like, because I remember you talking about this. You say, well, people that there's this hierarchy, right? And the people in big oil and gas are going to do everything they can to rig the system so that none of this free market stuff, competition will get out of the way. And it's a good point. And I don't know how to argue that. Honestly,
sometimes you just can't.
Sometimes you can't, but I feel like if I go back to my books and just look into it and confirm my bias more, but no. What was I saying? I don't even know what I'm saying. I am a free market guy. Yeah, that's when it should switch to sustainable.
Yes, but my argument again with the free market is that what we are constantly bombarded with from the top about the free market is not accurate. Because there is no invisible hand. If you look into it, right, the governments play a very important role in creating the systems, the environments for this supposed free market to exist. We take the old adage of a government that governs least, less is the best.
Least is the best.
But
that's my motto.
But if that was the case and we lived in a world that was no government at present, then things like patents, you couldn't have patents, could you? So
that's true.
So the iPhone.
Well, there could be a private patent industry, but
you wouldn't have to do it. So someone could just go buy an iPhone, deassemble it, look at it, and just build another one, and not have to worry about it. So you need strong, stable governments. You need a global system of things in place to allow these so-called patents to exist. So this, again, the free market, if the free market is truly free, then we can all make an iPhone and sell it and undercut each other. I can make an iPhone, so an iPhone sells for, 150 quid. I'll make an iPhone and sell it for 145 pounds.
Well, that's the nature of competition,
and no one will be allowed to sue me.
That's why.
But if I was to make an iPhone and sell it for 145 pounds and it took away billions of profit, I'd be in jail, I'd be sued because there's patents there. So the free market isn't free, totally free.
Well, okay, but you are touching on the nature of capitalism, which is what did Samsung do? They just created their own iPhone and competed. What did HTC do? They created their own iPhone, a Droid, or I forgot what it was, Android. That's what it is. Of course, the patents make you so you don't create the exact same thing. So
it's limited.
We need competition within the energy sector.
Yeah,
and that competition will spur incentive to invest in these technologies.
Yes, I agree.
To an extent, and I do agree with you that these things can be hampered by lobbyists and stuff. But that's the nature of competition. Everyone's trying to compete, and they're going to do everything they can.
I think, for me personally, I think where your argument of the free market and where the competition fails today is the people who have benefited most from that system have now integrated themselves into the echelons or the areas at the top that create the rules to that game. So they now are changing those rules to favour themselves and where they are. And that hampers your ideological belief of the free market and the competition. If they are kept isolated from the rules, we make the rules, then you have genuine free market, you have genuine competition, and I can accept that that is the best form of society we have at the moment. The problem is the ones who have become successful have integrated into all the other aspects and areas of society, but the rules of the game are not now what we're preached they are to be. And that's my anger.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah. I mean, it's not like inconceivable to think that that would happen, yeah. And I guess that's the government's role, is to keep these interests at bay and allow competition, survival of the fittest to go on. But yeah, it is harder when like there's a really big fish in the water eating all the little fish.
Well, exactly. I saw an article.
And that's why there's government regulations for these things.
But these have been watered down. Many of the governments and now the people in governments are the same people that run the media corporations or are part of the corporations or are the shareholders of the conglomerates. They're all the same people now, and so there isn't a differentiation, there isn't a separation, there isn't a genuine bigger picture perspective. They're all intertwined. And that for me is why we're seeing it, the massive fragmentation, because there are too many people being left behind now, because the games have changed. I'm not against the game, I'm not. But
I'm going to say that's arguable.
Well,
and I feel like it is speculative, but it's not completely out of the question.
You're allowed to argue.
Of course.
Because take me as an example, right? Well, not me. Me. If ideas and perspectives and hard work and all this wonderful thing that we're bombarded with determine how wealthy you become, right? I'd be quite rich. But I am appreciative that we're living in a world that people happily take my ideas, pass them off as their own, and make a lot more money than I do. Now you could say, well, that's my fault, I'm too soft. But I would say, well, the rules of the game are not necessarily stacked in my favour, or in an equal. Sorry, I'm burping now. In an equal game, you know. Maybe I'm not selfish enough. Maybe if I get an idea, I like to say who I got the idea from. You know, if I get an idea for a blog post, for instance, I'm a little fish, a little tiny fish. I'm not important in the big sea. But since I get an idea of something, I like to say, well, I got this idea from this article or from this person. You know, I'm willing to show the world that I actually didn't come up with this idea.
Of course, and that's integral.
But we are in a world where people don't do that.
No.
They will take an idea, pass it off as their own, make some kind of gain from that, and then tell the world that they're an intellectual genius. And that pisses me off. No, it doesn't piss, but it just, and that is a very, very small, to me, is a very, very small fish problem with the bigger game. I just don't believe it's fair.
It's the game.
It is the game.
It's the game.
It is the game. But the game favours arseholes. The game favours ruthless.
Exactly.
If you're not ruthless, the game favours the old style masculinity of the world, where kill or be killed.
Yeah. Self-interest
wins
part
the game.
Well, it's part of capitalism. It's making your money, and
but I can't be that. I as an individual cannot be that. So do I deserve to live a life that is going to be a struggle because I can't be selfish?
Well,
is it tough shit you deserve to go down and swim with the fishes?
Of course not, but I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know.
I'm not blaming you.
No, I know. I'm
trying to get a debate going. You know, if you just happen to be
I feel like it is a really pessimistic view. If you constantly feel like you can't do it or you won't ever do it, you won't ever participate. We're really talking generalities right now.
Absolutely, we're not specifically. But in that generality, what I'm saying is if you look at the vast majority of people who have, as we say, become successful in monetary terms,
sure,
many of them are incredibly selfish people. They are. Many of them are very, very killer vehicles.
But I feel like that does not equate to being like a bad person.
I wouldn't consider Donald Trump a good person.
No, and I'm not saying that, but I mean,
I wouldn't consider Steve Jobs was a good person. I consider him a visionary in the technological sense.
I think there's.
Having read his autobiography, he wasn't a good person.
I feel like everyone can agree that he was kind of a shitty person. But he built his empire.
Yeah.
I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of jobs he's provided to people. He's provided a product that is high in demand, and everyone has this product. And everyone's happy with this product. And it was a very important innovation in the world of technology. And I feel like in that aspect of his life, he's a good person. His personal life, not so much. Like, it's like there's a split between the legacy that surrounds him and like the person he is, but he had to be that. Like
he sacrificed his humanity.
Exactly, and yeah, it was a large sacrifice, and I feel like you have to be that. And it is a bad thing almost when you have to be this type of person, but it is possible not being that person. You can separate your business from your personal life. I don't know if Steve Jobs to make that argument, but I know from what I've read, he wasn't a great person to work with. He's very driven, in his ideas, which I think helped progress the company. He needed that leadership, right?
Yeah.
That quality, but in every other aspect, I'll push away every other quality to pursue that.
Yeah, and I've heard people interview and they've said they enjoyed the time there, and I don't think they enjoyed the time with him. They enjoyed the time because of what they were doing innovative-wise. I think it's.
That's where you separate.
I think it's very, very easy to say I wouldn't go back and I wouldn't change anything from the time I worked for Apple. But if Apple had failed, I can imagine there wouldn't have been many people that said it was one of the best times of my life.
Yeah.
It's only because Apple became successful and they probably all became quite wealthy that they go, it was one of the best times of my life. If it had failed, they'd have gone, he was an arse. I hated that. It was horrendous.
That's a question.
Success can blur the difficulties.
I can see that. Yeah. Like once you're successful, you can look back on the difficulties as a good thing. It's like, it was challenging, and it was good hard work.
Yeah, exactly.
But we made it.
You see, I know it. That's what it is. It's easy to say that. If it doesn't work out, you go, Jesus.
But that's why it worked out, and like their efforts were towards something good after all.
Everyone's efforts work out for the better. And again, this is my argument. And doing sociology.
That's reality. Yeah.
Doing sociology, you see through a lot of the stuff that we're bombarded with, the meritocracy, things like that. There are a lot of things. Like I said, there's that old adage, sort of and I've heard this. I've heard of if hard work were the sole thing that determined whether you were successful or not, every woman in Africa would be a millionaire. The fact that they're not says that there are a lot of other influences out there that contribute to becoming, and when I say successful, as in a financial sense.
Right. You need to have a desirable skill. And
you need to be in the right environment. You need to have the right connections at the right time.
Exactly.
You do need luck. You need to find people who are willing to help and not exploit.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of other things, but I do agree that you also do have to work hard. However, if I hear someone say that hard work alone gets you there, I just want to
that's like the generic like life coach thing.
It's just my head.
No, and I get that. It is because it doesn't. It's more than just hard work. It's so many other factors they have to account for. And So shall we pause We shall.
Part 1. So welcome back to part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2. Now that you've got yourself another drink.
Yeah.
And the alcohol is beginning to loosen you, make you feel a bit more relaxed. We'll probe deeply now. We'll get your life started.
Okay, although it's rather bad drink.
Yeah, it tastes like hospice.
I made a mistake, but we will continue.
Exactly.
Nonetheless,
once you get rid of that, once the alcohol gets rid of your taste buds, then you'll drink anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Just say, loosen you up a bit. Give it another couple of pints, and you'll be chasing the ladies around this bar.
Boy.
Right, I'll tell you what. We'll ease in quite easily, and tell me a little bit about your home, America. Well, you live in California, don't you? So tell us a little bit about America, the California dream. You know.
Wow, what a big topic to discuss.
Well, no, just from your perspective, just tell us a little bit, because it's one country that I've never been to.
Yeah.
Right. You know, in my time in the military and traveling the world, I never got to go to America, and I'm kind of umming and ahhing. I don't really want to go now because of Trump, but I really should go to America before I die.
I feel like a lot of people are trying to avoid America now because of Trump. But I get that. Well, life's always been like comfortable for me. Like I've always come from like a middle class background, so my parents always had stable income and lived comfortably in like a suburb, you know, like a typical like American suburb in California. You know,
what's a suburb?
Like a suburb, it's like a subdivision of houses. It's like its own little town. But it's just houses.
Right, so I suppose it'd be like rural for us, wouldn't it? Or just kind of slightly away from the
It's actually within the city. It's like tucked away within the city. I live in a city called Los Alamitos.
Okay.
And then there's within Los Alamitos. It's almost like a gated community, but it's not. It's like
posh snob.
Such a posh snob. Yeah. It's like a division within it where it's just houses.
Okay.
And it's kind of like. It's kind of like what you see. It's like the average. It's like the American family. Like you know, like,
so it's like
you got your house and your neighbors.
Yeah, you're like white picket fenced. Do you have your gardens?
Yeah, we have like the front lawn and a tree. Okay. Not like a white picket fence.
Right.
But
I'm just trying to paint a picture.
It is like that. It's like what Beavis? What's his name?
Who?
I don't know. It's some American TV show you probably don't know.
Right, I don't know. I know. I can't.
Not Beavis and Butthead.
No,
that's different.
No, I was like Beavis and Butthead. They were cartoon.
I don't know what it's related to, but yeah.
I think we all kind of know. In my mind, I have the old white picket fence thing.
It's kind of like that, and it's kind of like that, and not like a lot of like shops.
Desperate Housewives. Could you say like that? You've got like the road, and then there's the houses either side with the front lawns.
Yeah.
And everyone's there.
Yeah.
You get the picture, you know, the cars on the driveways.
Yeah.
And okay.
It's a nice, quiet little neighborhood. It's a neighborhood, and it's really nice.
And so, do you get to? I mean, do you or have you kind of toured California then? When you've been there, you know, have you gone to kind of? I mean, I suppose if you live in an area, you tend not to be a tourist.
I've been to most of California.
Okay.
Yeah, like going south to San Diego. I've been there a lot. I go to school in. Sorry, I'm burping. I go to school in Monterey Bay.
Okay.
And what else? I've been to San Francisco. That's a few hours north of Monterey Bay. Let's give perspective. Like Monterey Bay is 6 hours north of Los Alamitos, where I live.
Right.
And I've been to San Francisco, which is 3 hours north of Monterey Bay. So I've been the length of.
California's a big place.
Yeah.
It's a very, very big place.
Yeah. And like the sequoias and the national parks. Like, I've been to all those.
Okay.
Not the deserts, but yeah. Yeah. So I've toured quite a bit.
And what? I mean, are you aware of the kind of culture, the thinking, who people are? Because here in the UK, when I say here in the UK, maybe a lot of people aren't aware, that a lot of the things that I see and have read, that the kind of Californian thinking and perspective is very unique even for America. very different than the more dreamers. You know, that kind of like the dream.
California dreaming.
Yeah, but there's a song about it, but apparently it is kind of like that. You know, you look at Silicon Valley and you know the kind of tech boom.
Yeah, it has like the 5th largest GDP. Like if it was counted as a country.
Yes, so, it could survive on its own.
Yeah, so it's a very prosperous state, I would say. So I would say that people are more optimistic in California, maybe more dreamers. Yeah, I see that actually.
Well, I suppose the sun can do that. It's shining on it.
Yeah, no. Yeah. It's like inherently more like optimistic with the sun. But I do notice like a culture clash where you find more optimistic people about maybe their future in life, or well, here it's like it's not all that. It's not really. It doesn't really matter that much. It's like it's almost like the humor is like kind of dark. It's more dark.
Yeah.
And that has its merits too. Like I kind of like that better in a way. It's less fake. It's
it's more grounded in realness.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad sense, but it's kind of you're sat with your tan skin and your fake perfect teeth. But
I feel like
who are you really?
I feel like a lot of people take themselves seriously.
What, here?
No, in California.
Right, okay.
But here it's more like you take what you would say, you take the piss out of like, It's more like self-deprecating.
Yes.
Or something, I guess.
Yeah.
And like
that's part of our culture.
It's more like accepted, whereas maybe you'd be more personally offended.
Yeah. Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, we
but that's just my experience. I can't say that.
No, I can understand that. We tend not to. We're not really accepting people who really have massive egos.
Yeah.
We don't handle that very well. We're like, sure, don't be
like, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be like a class thing.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, maybe so, because I'm from a working class background.
Yeah.
So maybe so. Yeah, that does.
And I feel like you respect more working class backgrounds here than maybe United States.
I would argue that's changing.
Yeah? Okay.
And I'm not saying that coming from a working class background, I'm not sitting here defending that I think working class is the way, I've lived in working class areas and there's a lot of arseholes who are working class.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't lived here, so.
Yeah, believe me, it's like, it's like people who think, I'm not a staunch defender of, blah, 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 there are arseholes in rich places in the world and there are arseholes in poor places.
Of course,
there's no, so yeah. But yeah, I know what you mean, definitely. We tend not to be as, I try to keep it a bit more less fluffy.
That's what I like about it.
Less fluffy and more. Just be open and honest. That's all I want from you. Just be open and honest, and we're going to get on easy fine.
Yeah.
Like if you're full of fluff, then there's a good chance I'll be like, okay, nice to meet you, but
it's really obvious when someone's kind of just like fluffing or whatever, not being honest about it. Talking about stuff.
But again, maybe that's a culture thing, because obviously it is that, a lot of, and I talked about this with Ebba in the previous one, when we were talking about the physical, the way you look, and we were talking about how physical is just one aspect of who we are.
Yeah.
But there is a sense that you take Californian, or the perception, my perception of Californian is that actually physical it's everything in that culture, the Californian culture, the beach culture, the body, the face, the look is everything. Do you get that sense, or is it just you're not aware that? Because like plastic surgery seems to have come from that area.
Yeah, sure. Like I feel like I can't I feel like I'd be generalizing if I would say that, but I do feel like it's more so in California than in other places where it looks maybe I could say maybe per capita it's a bigger deal than say here, Yeah.
Well, you've only got to look at the difference in teeth between Americans.
I was just about to say that. But I didn't want to be like rude, but like
That's all right.
it's like, yeah, like everyone gets braces in America. Like everyone you meet in middle school is a brace face.
Okay,
Like it's just like a sign of adolescence is just having braces and like all this shit in your mouth.
And Brits are just happy we've got a full set of teeth. Yeah,
exactly. And it's like sometimes it doesn't matter, you know. But like it's really important. Like it's like a health concern. It's almost like, you know, getting a checkup. It's like you need to get your braces, and like I think it's a good thing, you know. I mean, it's not necessary, but you know, it helps, I guess. I mean, I had a bunch of crap in my face. So I had braces. I had the retainer in my upper mouth.
Okay, really?
Like a permanent retainer. Like I don't have it now, but like, it was just like permanent, like crab thing that's like or like a spider. It's just like up, and you have to like learn how to swallow differently. But no, I think it is, like I said, like per capita.
Well, I mean, it's influenced because it's influenced over here.
Yeah.
You know, so that influence. But then again, you know,
there's nothing wrong with it.
My teeth are fine, but they're not American straight. You know, I've got a front one that's cracked.
Right.
From when I was a teenager, and I used to play rugby, and I just never bothered to get it sorted.
Get a little thing in there. Yeah, see that.
So I am aware of kind of, and I actually cracked a part of one of my back teeth a few months ago, and I had to go to the dentist. And they just did a quick check-up and everything like that. And what's really interesting is I've ground away. I've spent most of my life eating one side of my mouth, so I've ground away the teeth on one side more than the other. So if I was to go to America and smile, they'd look at me and go, "Oh God, there's something wrong with it."
Yeah, like if you had a cup, they'd put change in it.
Yes, exactly. And you had to have my broken nose again from my youth playing rugby league. And I'm not, but I have been affected by it, as I said in the previous podcast. The exercise thing, I do the exercise. I go to the gym and I pump weights, and you know, I admitted that I've had skin removed and things like that. So
have you? I didn't know.
Well, they can't see it on the audio, but can you see the scar?
Oh shit!
So
what is that called? A liposuction?
No, they call it.
Is it tummy tuck?
They call it a fleur de lis. Because it's like a
fleur de lis.
Yeah, so it was just the skin. I just had the excess skin removed. Because you know, if you're exercising, you've got excess skin and your body's looking in great shape.
But then
it looks stupid with the flabby skin there. So
gotcha. Well,
I wouldn't pay for anything else. If someone was to pay, I'd probably be seduced by the American thing and I'd have all sorts done. But I'd never pay for anything myself. But if someone says, right, here's $100 grand, do what you want to do cosmetic-wise, I'd probably get my teeth done and my nose done.
Yeah.
And I'd probably, you know...
I feel like there's nothing wrong with it.
Bit of a skin. But do you know, I would never spend any money myself. Because it's...
Sure.
Because, you know, I'm getting older and it's part of who I am.
You don't need it.
You know, it's...
I feel like it adds character.
I'll
take it in stride. Take your age in stride. Except I'm the one talking. I'm 20.
No, it's easy. It's easy to say when you're young, but when you're getting older, like me, hanging around at university, right? It's very difficult to admit that you are older, because I like these connections that I've made with some of you younger peers.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. Like people judge you on your looks more than.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, people say don't judge a book by its cover, but I mean everyone does it. It's like an instinct. Going back to instinctive thing.
So what do you consider? Do you have a definition of beauty? Yeah, is it on a personal thing?
Well, I guess it is a mixture of aesthetic beauty and my own personal opinion on aesthetic beauty, and someone that could challenge me and like intellectually or at least is interesting. I think that's what everyone wants. Is like someone that captivates them.
Absolutely.
In every way.
And I think that one bit that I didn't touch on in the previous conversation is that captivation could be many things. It doesn't just have to be, like, for instance, intellect. Yes, you want to be able to hold a conversation, but it can be something other than that. Whether it's a personality, a certain charm, humour, someone who can dance. Like, I go dancing 3 times a week, okay? Salsaing and bachata.
Right.
And the women who were really good at dancing, they're quite captivating. They're very, very captivating. When you see, I suppose it's the same for the women when they see a guy who can dance really well. That's really attractive. So when I go and I dance with the good dancers, because there's obviously different standards, and I'm not brilliant. I've only been doing it for 6 months, but if you dance with a woman who is really proficient at dancing, it's a really attractive quality.
Yeah. I get that.
So let's say, so it's not just
because you can appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So let's say, when we're doing together and you can feel the weird thing is when you're dancing with a woman. Well, for me, I think everybody's different, but for me, it's like when I'm dancing with a woman, I can feel how good they are.
Yeah.
And when you're dancing with someone really good, the sense you get in your body from what they're doing is really attractive.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
No, that makes total sense, yeah.
Whereas if you're dancing with someone who's a little bit nervous or is kind of really apprehensive, you just don't feel that. You don't feel it at all. You don't feel that little spark of energy or connection. And this is only someone who's been doing 6 months. I'm not saying it as a professional, but
no, of course. Like there's like a smoothness to the dance, and that transfers to like a really smooth, I guess, connection with the person.
Yeah, it is. It's I'll use the word because I'm not using this word, but it's a really interesting thing. It really is. It's such an amazing dynamic. Yeah, it's a really dynamic that's kind of. I never appreciated it until I started dancing. It's only since I started dancing do you become aware of it and you become appreciative of it. And I can only describe it from my perspective. And certainly one who hasn't grown up dancing won't understand. But if you were to do it, it's really quite.
Yeah, I know.
Good. I'm trying not to say it in a really kind of weird way, but it is. It's just yeah.
It's a transcendent experience.
Yeah, in a way.
I'll say it for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but
the euphoria.
Yeah, and if you get it right, and that's the beauty again, because when you're an amateur, you know, it's like when I dance, my brain can't process information quickly enough to be able to come up with moves straight away. I actually kind of need to learn a routine and then do that routine because I can't think quickly enough because I'm not proficient.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
But doing a routine and it going well, when you're doing it with someone. Am I sending you to sleep now?
No. I just took a sip and it was like.
Right, oh, it just gone right.
Yeah.
But when you're doing a routine and it's going well, there is a euphoric feeling in you that it's going really, really well. And when the woman is responding to what you're doing and they're doing exactly what you want them to do, that's quite an amazing feeling. And that is one of the joys of learning to dance. Is when it goes, it's like, some say it's like golf. You can play golf your entire life and be really crap at it. But if you have one good hole, one good shot, it keeps you going back time and time. Because there's no feeling better. Because I used to play golf many years ago, and there's no better feeling than having a brilliant round of golf, or one hole where everything works, or the perfect tee shot. It keeps you going back. And I found that when you dance, and you dance with someone who's good, and it goes well, wow.
That's a good analogy, yeah.
It's just makes you go back for more.
Yeah.
It really makes you go back for more. It's just...
And you want to keep experiencing.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It is.
And that's what you find attractive.
Yeah.
And it's an important
Yeah, it's
quality.
past the physical, it's more the kind of the feeling.
Yeah, it's not just dancing. It's,
but I get that. As I'm getting older, I get that feeling in more different things now. So it is, as I was saying again in the previous conversation, yes, there has to be a physical element there. But there's so much more to it than the physical. So like I say, the dancing, the stimulating conversation, the great persona or personality, these are even more areas that turn me on, than just the pure physical. Does that make sense? So that was quite a personal.
And I am yawning.
Yeah.
Because I did not sleep last night.
It's okay. It's all right.
Not because of you.
Fortunately,
Note to the reader.
It's an audio, so we can't see you.
Yeah.
I'm just the one that's looking at you, going, "How dare you?"
I just don't want to offend you.
I'm being really, really intelligent and articulate, but no.
And I totally get that. And
so it is. But again, it's like.
So I guess that's the same.
But I found you stimulatingly and intellectually attractive. Not in a fancy way, but the fact that the times we've got together, outside of this conversation, when we, like I said, when we went for a meal, when we sat, when you allowed me to kind of get my emotions out over the terrorist thing, they were stimulatingly attractive conversations, and so that's why we're here doing it again. Because I found you attractive, not in a fancy. Of
course.
But so not that I want to ruin your ego, because like I say, if I was a lady, I would find you attractive.
It's like, well,
But so there is more to the.
No, I get what you mean.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's something I haven't always seen that. And it took me a lot, and like I say, maybe it was the journey that really began in my 30s, which maybe is a generational thing, I don't know, like I was saying to Webber. But I've certainly, every day, week, month, year that passes, I get so much more of an appreciation of the bigger package. The better rounded individual is far more attractive than someone with just one element to them.
One trick pony.
Yeah, exactly, because that one trick becomes very boring. And it would become very, very boring very, very quickly.
Well, yeah, I mean, it results in a one-dimensional persona.
Yeah, one-dimensional connection, one-dimensional conversation, one-dimensional relationship and friendship. And that's boring.
We're three-dimensional beings, so we need to be...
Yes, it's true. It's true, it is, it's absolutely true. So so I am, but I hope it continues. Like I say, on Monday, meeting up with another friend, like I said, we're walking down here, we're going to, this is the second time we've met up.
Cool.
And again, incredibly fascinating human being, intellectually stimulating, brilliant. So I kind of love these kind of connections. Long may they continue, and I meet many more. And
I wish I could meet many more too.
You will, of course you will. You're a charming guy. If you can stimulate and keep me interested, then you're going to have no problems whatsoever. And you just need to learn to chat to the ladies without the alcohol, because that was one of my biggest things. Is you're not attractive to someone when you're drunk.
Oh yeah.
You think you are.
They have to be drunk as well.
Yeah, you think you are. You really do think that you are attractive, but the truth of the matter is you're not. You're the most unattractive thing in the world. So you shouldn't be fearful because you're a good catch player. Spread your wings and
I'm flattered.
So you should be. So I will say thank you, because like I said, we've done an extra 27 minutes and things like that.
I think it's a good time.
Yeah, because like I say, you don't want to stretch out right to the point where you're struggling to focus things. So I will say thank you very much. I appreciate you for doing this. Hopefully people will enjoy it.
Well,
and I'm trying to be a little bit more professional by saying okay and bye bye.